I want to know, do you have an MVP of the week of something you had to eat, like something you'd be like, all right, this was memorable. And then if you had to do a top three of Super Bowl moments this past week, things you got to do, what would they be? I'm going to give you mine. I'll let you think
Okay,
for a
great,
second.
great.
Okay. Mine's going to be, I'm going to start with the Lady Gaga thing, just going to the Fox, but only because obviously it's an early wake up. It's not some huge part where you're like talking or doing something. But for me, it was the experience. Bourbon Street obviously has made a massive part of my life in the sense of the championships I've won and celebrated there that we've talked about a lot, and Superdome and New Orleans and everything that's happened. Obviously the LA fires, you name it, Katrina. There's a lot of reasons that it's an emotional thing to me to be there in New Orleans talking about some of those things. So being in that moment was really, really cool and therapeutic, and just you could feel the intensity of it. That would probably be one. I think honestly, it was really cool sitting down with Jason on Friday, just getting to like just talk, like just like we would if the three of us were sitting there having a coffee. I thought that was really, really neat. And then third, I would probably say, honestly, like the Four Seasons bar area, just hanging out down there in the lobby was some of the most fun I had. It's just all the people we work with, the Amazon pop up there, like their activation, just kind of getting a chance to sit in a circle with people I work with, whether it be Sean and Kevin, guys that I've been around as coaches, and then also our Amazon folks, just everyone we work with there, just kind of being around like, hey, end of the year, what a cool year it's been. All of it coming to life in those moments and getting to spend some quality time together, and all the different faces that pop up. That's probably my third.
Yeah, that's awesome. The Amazon setup that they had was incredible, and a lot of their clients and people come in. So to spend time in there is a lot of fun. And the most fun about that for me, which is a top three moment, is they had Papa Shot.
You
And
dominated. You
I
absolutely
mean,
dominated.
I think you probably had an inkling, but then you found out how serious I take my Papa Shot. And so they had the leaders, they had a scoreboard, and it was 6 people. And my goal by the end of, the hour that I was there, which it got sweaty and it got uncomfortable, was to clear everybody's name off that board. And when I put up 145 on that board, I walked out of there feeling like a hero. I'll tell you
You
that much.
did.
And
I love that you described it as an hour, because I would call it about 2.5 hours, because I came back from
it
I
was,
started with you playing the
yeah.
game. You were in full sweat. You took a break because your arm was so tired. I went to an event with Breitling, and by the time I got back an hour later, you were just leaving because you said you'd finally gotten bored and tired of playing the game.
The worst part about that is I was wearing like a quarter zip, and it was so muggy and I got so hot. But then you get to the point, if you're wearing a quarter zip and a t-shirt underneath and you start sweating, like I couldn't take off my quarter zip because the sweat stains on my undershirt were going to be so bad that I just had to continue to sweat and to bear it. But yes, I didn't know I was going to be down there for 2.5 hours playing Papa Shot, but I
All right,
was.
if that's one of them, then give me the other two.
Okay, the other two, one of them, this one's a little bit random, but I'm going to throw it out there. So Cal McNair is the owner of the Texans. So we went to the commissioner's party. His wife is Hannah. His wife's sister, her name is Adele, and she was one of the flight attendants for one of my many teams. And I had not seen Adele since she was a flight attendant on one of the teams I played for. And I got to see her, and she is like the most lovely, crazy, wonderful person. And so that was really fun for me because it was such a fish out of water moment of like, all right, we're here with NFL owners and coaches and all these important people. And the one person I want to talk to is the lady that was my flight attendant and friend
That's awesome.
on my flights all year. So that
That's
to
cool.
me was really cool. The fellowship all weekend was great. I would say the number one moment for me, even though I already said it, CAA has been my agency. It's Josh Allen's agency. And I still remember when we were at the Masters and he had not been drafted yet. And we're at a CAA tent party there and just talking about the prospects of where he was going to go. And I had a real good feeling that Buffalo was going to draft him, not because I talked to anybody, just getting to know the kid and the person that he was. It just seemed like such a great fit. So to be there from the beginning and to be rooting for him the whole way and to see him do it the right way and to see the growth that he's had, just to have that moment of congratulations after he got back from winning the MVP and how proud his parents were looking at him and the person that he is. That was probably the number one moment, even though it was a tiny moment for me and a blip on the radar for him. That was a really cool moment. It was kind of a full circle moment for me. So I would say that was probably the best part of the weekend. Spending time with you was definitely the best, but that goes
I didn't
unsaid.
even make the list. Always, brother. Always good time. What about food? Do we have a favorite that you tried? Anything you tried? New Orleans cuisine?
I had a lot of beignets. I'll tell you that. I
We
mean,
did do
I
that.
will say,
We ate a lot of beignets.
yeah, our producer Spoon, it was really great. Spoon and I were like snuggled up in a car, leaving the commissioner's party and going to Chris Stapleton, and he was eating beignets, and it looked like cocaine all over the lapel of his. I was like, you can't do that. Like, you can't walk into a concert with like white powder all over your shirt, man. But those beignets are tricky. And then for me, like, it's just not good. It's too much powder sometimes, but they taste so good. So I would say I would go there. Um, Gumbo, like I was ordering shrimp and grits early in the morning, but
Oh yeah.
I had breakfast by myself every morning and just went to a different place. I did Ruby Slipper. I did a place I
Yeah,
wish I
that was
knew the
good.
name of, but great. I mean, it was so good. And then Rose, Re-
Ribs.
Rayos. The food was unbelievable. Got to meet Kevin Plank and sit with him there. Yeah, is it Koshan? Like it was a good food weekend for me.
Yeah, it was. It was a great. Listen. New Orleans didn't disappoint. You think of that Super Bowl, it's all about the fellowship and the food and having a good time, and they don't let you down. So New Orleans has been obviously one of the top Super Bowl host sites. I think tied up there with Miami, maybe at 11. And you know what? It doesn't disappoint. It's a good time. You can walk everywhere you want to go, which is I think one of the reasons they like it so much as a Super Bowl host site is you really can walk anywhere. I mean, it got to a point that week where walking was way faster than driving anywhere. So. But I think it was a great week, man. It was an awesome week. It was so cool to catch up with people. We had some epic moments, hung out with a bunch of celebrities, hung out with a bunch of famous people that we have no business being in the same room with. But you know what? That's what it's all about, baby.